Good morning. Welcome to Conversations with Anasa. So happy to see you this morning. So let's meditate. Take your attention inside and breathe down below your belly button. And as you feel into that energy center, allow your attention, like everything in your mind, to just drop down below your belly button. We all know there's a brain in the gut. Feel for that. And as you breathe and feel your breath deep in your belly, allow yourself to experience the space between the in-breath and the out-breath. Just holding your attention in the energy center below your belly button. And feel for that balance point in your body. And when you're ready, drop your attention all the way down to the earth. And as deeply as you can toward the center of the earth. Understanding that our body is made of materials of the earth. Our body is of the earth. And we offer our gratitude for this understanding of our connection to and interdependence on Mother Earth. And when you're ready, allow your attention to rise to the tip of the tailbone. And as you breathe in, feel that tip go backwards. And as it begins to move forward, align your breath with that motion. And don't worry whether you feel it or not. It's not important. You will over time, and there's no problem. Just keep allowing it. Allow yourself to be informed. And it's the other part of what we're made of. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And at some point, your attention will naturally begin to float upward. And let's look at the solar plexus, which is at the bottom of the rib cage. And feel into that area just below the V, where the rib cage comes down. Feel all the way back to your back. The energy center, of course, extends all the way through your body. See if you can allow your awareness to be really present in that space. Just witnessing what you see, what you feel. And sometimes it'll be open and sometimes it'll be tight, and sometimes it'll be all kinds of variations in between. Just acknowledge what is. No pressure to feel any particular thing. And have the understanding that your inner will inform your awareness at its own pace. And that the only control over the situation we have is our repetition of focusing our attention and allowing ourselves to feel. And any tightness or blockage is an invitation to feel deeper, but not to exactly do anything, just experience and allow. And when you're ready, allow your attention to rise to the center of your chest. And don't forget about the back of the energy center. Feel into that as well. And these energy centers can expand way beyond our physical boundaries. So no worries about limitation. When you're ready, allow your attention to go to the throat center. And feel into the back of your neck as well. And again, feeling into the breaths, between the breaths. And if and when your body disappears, that's totally fine. When you're ready at your pace, take your attention to the third eye. In the center of your head, behind, between, a little above the eyebrows. And when it's ready, your energy will naturally rise like a water spout out the top of your head and flow down in 360 degrees around your body in a continuous flow up and down the central channel. And that flow actually goes in both directions. So there's no need to assume it's going to be one way or the other. Whatever you experience is what you experience. Trust it. It will inform you more and more over time. And if you experience things in a different way than we're describing, that is totally fine. You're not wrong. There's a lot to the energetic system. And it's best to just be simple about it and trust what you experience. As our access to dimensional experience arises, it's not going to be the same for all of us. Every human being has unique capabilities. Holding your state, your awareness on the inside, whatever it is, hold to that as you gently, slowly open your eyes while experiencing your internal awareness. And we'll begin our question and answer part of the program. So happy to be with you today. How may we serve? So we're going to talk just a little bit about how the biggest limitation we see is in the limitations we put on ourselves because of our limited matrix of belief. Somebody told us at some point that we couldn't do whatever, both inside and outside ourselves. And we believed it. inside we have unlimited possibility. And the more we put our attention there, the more it becomes available. And we've noticed that, vision is often very limited because of arbitrary ideas we have about what's available to us, both on the inside and the outside. And that our expectations are often based on those limitations that we unquestioningly embrace. And the truth is, if we believe we have a limitation, we most certainly will. And really, the key to all this is alignment. And we talk about that alignment as being in alignment with the highest best for the whole. And in the big picture, we have no idea what that is. But we carry the belief that in our dedication to that idea, we will be shown, and that's our experience, we will be shown pretty clearly how to proceed. And that it's holding to the commitment to behaving in alignment with the highest best that makes our life have sense and clarity to it that we may not understand in the moment. That's a given. We may not understand. And that's okay. Because for the most part, we don't understand why we're here or what we're supposed to do. And we're winging it. But having the concept of alignment with the highest best gives us a guidepost. And that guidepost is our central channel where we connect to the awareness that comes from that vitality of the highest best for the whole. And in reconnecting to that over and over and over and over, we are participating with that as our foundational guide. Talked enough. One thing I want to let you know is that we have to stop early this morning because the American College of Vedic Astrology, where I studied some, is having a graduation ceremony that actually started at 10, and they only told me about it on Wednesday. And so I said, I can't possibly come because I have a commitment to a Sunday morning program. And they said, well, what time do you finish? And I said 11:30, and they said, could you possibly come at 11? And I said, well, okay. So we're going to end early today so that I can graduate. And so that will happen at 11 o'clock. I'll peel off and go to the ceremony. Please, questions. We're so delighted to be here. Yes, welcome. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great. And I just wanted to say thank you for the clue that you passed on about looking from the back of your head. And I realized a number of times this week how I have been looking at the world from my face and simultaneously taking everything personally. And just a number of times during the week when it occurred to me, for no reason other than that it occurred to me, I sort of switched channels and looked at the world from a different place. And it's it was a small thing, but it was a big thing. And I I just wanted to express my gratitude. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, it is a startling, it's a startling experience to look at the world from a witness perspective.
Yes, somehow it seems like farther upstream.
Exactly. Good. That's great. Thank you. We have the capacity to experience the world from all of our energy centers. And we do, but often we aren't aware of the impact we can have with a simple breath, opening our diaphragm or breathing all the way to our pelvis. Somehow our entire awareness can change with a deep breath when we're locked anywhere up here and not really flowing. The whole thing can change. And sometimes taking our attention toward the back of the head can flip the entire thing just like that. The entire experience of who and what we are just changes. So you're right on. Andrew, anything? Oh, sorry. Sometimes that happens. I felt it. Yes.
I was just wondering if there's anything we should be or could be particularly aware of as we go tumbling through the holidays and on into the slowly returning light.
Well, astrologically, between Christmas and New Year's, it's kind of difficult for the world. So it's a good time to be in that time, be inward in that time, and cultivate a lot of gratitude to counteract the intense changes that are happening in the sky. That's what we'd say. And don't have great expectations that people are going to be happy. And be grateful that it's a very quiet time in terms of communication that's required between people, because it could be a bit difficult. So that's what we'll say, especially between Christmas and New Year's. And you felt it coming, which is why you're asking. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be spending the week with closely with a bunch of people, some of whom I don't really know that well. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, you can hang back a bit,
Right.
quiet. Don't get involved in anything that, doesn't feel like it's really helpful. And that's the question, who's being served by whatever energy is being passed around.
Mhm.
And just because somebody hands you something doesn't mean you have to pick it up.
That's great advice for me. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. You can just excuse yourself. Yep, nature's calling. Simple as that. No explanation is required.
Yeah, right. Excellent. Thank you.
You do not have to participate in anything you don't want to. And, we have the right to guard our state. It's a self-responsibility.
How do we protect our energy from those that will be around this holiday? Especially if everybody's energy is all over the place.
Well, the way we're talking, the protection isn't exactly what's needed. It's that know that you don't have to stay in a situation just because somebody's dominating with negativity. And so, like we said, nature calls, excuse me, and you go to a different location wherever you are, even if it's just a bathroom, and make sure you're really connected in yourself and that you're the person you want to be. And then it's not really protection, but it's a kind of personal devotion to our own quality of life that we will hold to our own happiness, because we're the ones who are responsible for that. And if we let somebody else pollute it, then where are we? And it doesn't help anybody to do that. So, and you know, you don't have to stop at the bathroom. You can keep going to your car. You don't have to participate in other people's whatever. And we'll say further than that, a lot of what gets us into trouble is we think we can be helpful. And we can only be helpful if our own state is capable of holding the happiness and sharing that. And often that's a higher bar than we can meet with somebody else's negativity, because people get really dedicated to their state and they want everybody around them to share it. So they're trying to pull your energy into their place. And that's when you say, excuse me, I will not have a second helping. And you go in whatever way you can, you know, you try to be graceful about it, but sometimes they'll try to make you stay anyway. And you don't have to. There's nothing that says you have to participate in anything that's going to ruin your own happiness. And if you do get slimed, then you de-slime yourself before you drive home. You know, whatever's not mine, leave. You take a deep breath, you invite the joy, and you let go of anything that's not mine. Just let it go. A lot of times we feel obligated to participate, even though we can feel that it's not something we want to have anything to do with. We don't owe anybody anything until we have the capacity to really do good. And the first stage of that capacity is to be able to hold your own state. And so there's a lot of self-honesty required, always. Especially people who engage in victim behavior, they are dedicated. You can't talk them out of it. So realizing that on the front side, that's a matrix of belief that they have chosen for themselves. And they aren't asking you to change their matrix of belief. They're asking you to validate their sorry state. And they don't want to hear that some other possibility exists. So you have to be clear about what your relationship to the situation is. You know, if it's one thing if you're in a group like this, then help is what you offer, because we're all headed in the same direction. So that's a whole different thing. But if you're in a group of people and somebody's determined they're going to weight the conversation to their victimhood, you don't have to participate. Does that answer help? So we all really want to do good. And so we can hold to that commitment, but we have to be honest about what's possible in a given situation. And most of the time we know the people well and we recognize the behavior as it begins to arise. And sometimes in the holidays it's family and you can't walk away. You just can't. There's no graceful way to escape. Well, then you breathe. You breathe a lot. And you hold to your own. And you don't even have to speak either. You don't have to participate. You can be one person on the inside and completely blank on the outside. You don't have to participate. And you can stay present if you have to. And offer what you can to try to turn the tide. And that means waiting for the moments when the conversation naturally stops and tell a joke. Or some other, just change the direction. Talk about how great the food was or is.
On this lines, I've noticed recently sometimes that well, in the context of doing something which is sort of a energetic flow outward, like giving a treatment or playing music, that I could also at the same time be internally very agitated, not necessarily about the situation, but that it doesn't necessarily mean that the outcome is worse in terms of what is trying to be accomplished. And I find that to be a paradox. In other words, it's not just about my emotional well-being, but it's just that somehow that could be happening. And it's challenging, but the transfer could still be happening.
So Andrew's noticing that sometimes when he's involved in a creative endeavor like giving a treatment, he has his hands on a patient or playing a concert, that there will be a secondary theme running of agitation about some other thing that's happening in his life. And that doesn't necessarily touch the quality of the other thing, that the creative endeavor that he's doing. And, that's what we call flow. There can be this little, twister going on in your field of reactivity to something else that's very alive in your life and not so favorable. And those can be there, but you don't have to put your attention and your energy there. You continue to maintain your energy on the flow of the creativity that you are trying to accomplish. And that can just be there. It doesn't require anything. And once you realize that, then you just don't feed it. And it will probably wander off. Because where you put your attention is what you are feeding in yourself. So there's always the opportunity, if this twister arises, to go there, and you can drop whatever's in front of you with sometimes immediate consequence. But it's that feedback that teaches us that, just let it go. And holding, and this is, it's one reason to really continue to be involved in creative endeavors in our life, whatever they are. And what they are, the way we identify them, they're things that bring us joy. We play music because we can, and we get a lot of pleasure from doing it. And for both of us, the confusion was the discovery when we were young that, it wasn't really materially viable as an occupation. And at least in the way we wanted to do it. And so we were fortunate to have the opportunity to pursue other vocations. But the way you know that something is a creative endeavor is you want to do it. And what my mother always did is she made pies for everybody in the neighborhood. And just, if somebody was having a hard time, she took them a pie. You know, was the last thing she did the day she died is she delivered 2 pies. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hey, good morning. I'll catch
Good
you
morning.
before you go here. Um, well, great topic this morning. While I'm at home mending, I I am frustrated. I'm just not, of course, have the energy I usually do, and I don't have the energy to be doing much for anybody. So I'm really sitting in a bit of a hot seat for learning here for myself. Which is a good thing. And challenging a lot's been coming up. So, a lot of it I'm just letting be there as well, just in the conversation we're having together. And it really learning to focus on the other, on the broader sense of gratitude. But it's kind of been kind of big. I guess I expected I'd be doing a lot better. And so I'm just having to go with the program, with what is, of course. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the conversation. It just is really, really targeted in my life right now. So,
Well, recovering from surgery is no joke.
yeah,
There's no question that, when surgery happens, there is a big change. And it's very, very common for surgeons to minimize the
Mhm.
amount and depth of recovery that's required to actually get back to the life you had.
Yeah, yeah,
And part of it is that, surgeons rarely have had the surgery that they do. So they
good
have no
point.
idea. They have no experience, no reference point. And by the time they do have experiences like that, they are of a similar age you are, and they're no longer teaching or part of the whole community. So
Mhm.
it's not transferred knowledge. This outcome of surgery and how long it takes to heal.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And even putting weight on, that is just like not happening at all. So,
you have to be hungry first. And if you lose your sense of hunger, then
yeah,
it takes some persistence, even though you don't feel like it,
yeah,
to
yeah.
get that back.
So
And
it's the big lesson in my life right now. And yeah, here I am and just reminding me at all times to work with what I've got. Yeah. So,
yeah. And, as a physician, I'll say small amounts, eat tiny amounts of things you love as
yeah.
often as you can.
Yeah, that I had to do that because my stomach wouldn't take in very much, but it's stretching now. I mean, there's a great deal of my stomach involved in this surgery, but I
Yeah.
am eating, being able to eat more, and but the fatigue is a lot, but it's all right. It's a new
Yeah.
pathway here. I'm learning.
Yeah.
I have to embrace.
Well, you look great and your energy feels really good. I mean,
Oh,
you
thank
you
you.
are doing fantastic. It doesn't feel at all like there's
Right.
anything inauthentic about what's
Yeah.
happening here.
Yeah.
You're right on it.
Oh,
It's
thank
really
you. Thanks for the
good.
feedback.
You are so welcome. And everybody's agreeing, we're all behind you.
I know.
You can
I'm-
feel into that support. It's
Yeah.
really a community support.
I am so grateful. Thank you
And
all.
there's no one here who wouldn't volunteer to, bring or make available anything you might need. So
Yeah.
if
Thank
you
you.
have a problem, just text and,
Thanks.
we'll globally ask and it'll get sorted.
Yeah, I'm managing pretty well with keeping things moving.
Good.
And yeah. It's just me facing me and not anybody else.
Well, we're just happy to see you, and we love the flow that happens here, and we
I
just
love it. I
want to
love it too.
appreciate it.
I
Yeah.
love it too. Thank you so much.
So on that note, sadly,
Yeah.
we have to end today, but we just so much appreciate being with you, and thanks for coming, and we'll see you again next week or Wednesday night if you have time. So much love. Bye for now.
Bye and congratulations.
Oh, thank you.